kind of enclosed political situation, and we all share a kind of similar experience in terms of how we started doing creative work. And just to explain this a little bit, mid-80s, we've been all very, let's say, we come from a city where there was no art school, no music academy, nothing. But there was a great scene of artists who are basically being autodidacts, means with no academic background. And I think this is quite, the reason I'm mentioning this is because we basically all come from backgrounds, we never been trained actually as musicians or as artists or as designers, but all this kind of stuff we're doing right now. And exactly in this period in the mid-80s was a kind of anarchic creative situation that everybody could do anything, more or less. You could make a little movie, you could start a free jazz, punk band, whatever. The next day you wrote a poem, made a painting, printed, opened a print shop. So it was a really creative time, but as well doing art without driver license. This is what I always say. And I think from this time, maybe it's very interesting. Olaf, you want to say something, Frank? Because Olaf and Frank had a band at this time.
Yeah, so I'm Olaf. I was born same city in 1968, and so when my starting point was I found a 16mm camera, film camera, on the trash, and so I started to experiment with the film material, and this experiment brought me together with Frank. So Frank had a band during East Germany. The band was called AG Geige, and they looked for a new member. So, and this offer from Frank was my beginning to come into the music. Yeah, maybe you will say something more about the band, or
I was actually studying fine arts at this time, and we had this band, and Olaf was then the second member, and so we met each other, and had this band since till '93, and then we split, and in '96 we started again to making music, and of course it's always hard to find a label for this kind of electronic music, and so we thought, okay, we will find our own label, and actually this was the starting point for Raster Noton. The first name was Raster Music, and then because we knew each other for so long time, and Carsten had his own small label called Noton at this time, and finally we thought, okay, we want to melt it together with our label, and it was in '99, I guess, and then it was what today is Raster Noton. So for a little bit from the history.
Yeah, so the most important point for us to found the label was to have the full control. So with the band we had some experiences with East German and West German record labels, and we feel that we had to do compromises, and we was never happy, or we never found a good compromise. And at the same time, it was mid-90s, so the internet was coming, and all the tools to produce your own graphic design, to learn or to make the mastering process by yourself. So this all was very, the price becomes lower and lower, and this was for us the starting point to say, okay, let's try out, maybe we can handle this by our own. And I had I worked some years for music distributor, so I had also a little idea how this system is running, so business-wise. And so in the very beginning, so maybe Carsten, you can show some. In the very beginning, we had this idea to show not so much the personality of an artist. It was very important for us to show the ideas, or to give a little to show in the graphic design the idea of the music, and this was.
This, for instance, is the static series, because it comes from this anti-static back design.